the second question that we have is from a listener named Callie. She says, "Does the Hope Not Nope method only concern athletics and injury? And if not, how does it expand to other health issues?"
Phenomenal question. And again, I'll give a little bit of background, but the subtitle to the book, Hope Not Nope, is Reclaiming Identity as a Lifelong Athlete in a Sick Healthcare System. This idea of lifelong athlete, we kind of went back and forth with a little bit of, do we include it or do we not include it? Because we don't want it to get kind of like pigeonholed into this one idea. So we went with the term lifelong athlete for really two main reasons. One reason was that a lot of the analogies and examples, they come from the sports world.
Mm.
You know, we talk about Kurt Warner, we talk about Space Jam, we talk about the CrossFit Games. And one of the editors, when she was going through it, one of the comments she left is, yeah, this is great work, but I don't know what an Olympic lift of a snatch is. Can you elaborate on what this thing is?
Mm.
And as we started reflecting back through each chapter, we realized how much there is a reference to sports
Okay.
throughout the book. And that's just because that's something that I'm really passionate about. I've just always loved every sport, watching it and participating in it and seeing what it does. But the reason being is not because of seeing goals or touchdowns, like those are cool, but I love seeing the sacrifice that is needed to do a sport. The work that's put in that nobody sees. I mean, you competed this past weekend, but no one has seen the three years of work that you put in, and how every weekend leading up to the competition, we were doing 5 workouts a day just to
Mhm.
build capacity to get ready for the stimulus that was coming. Like, people just see the performance, but they don't see all the things that went into it. People look at Steph Curry hitting threes from wherever on the court. They don't see the hours and the sweat that he's put into perfecting his jump shot. And it's really cool to see that on display and the sacrifice that these athletes are making. And for me, lifelong athlete, that's what it's about. It's the values of being an athlete, not
Mhm.
necessarily competing, but the idea that you're willing to be disciplined, you're willing to sacrifice for others, you're willing to live out these values because you know that what you're doing is going to serve others and get them to be better versions of themselves.
Mhm.
The other reason we have lifelong athlete in there with the Hope Not Know book and methodology is that everybody's an athlete.
Yeah.
No matter who you are, it's not identified by competing in a sport. If you're working in a warehouse and you're lifting boxes for 8 to 10 hours a day, you're probably doing more work than what an actual elite athlete is doing. Like,
Mhm.
that is a strenuous position to be in. If you are a parent that is waking up early to make breakfast, get your kids on the school bus, get them home from school, get their homework done, get them to their activities, keeping a marriage, keeping friendships, working, you're working an elite athlete schedule. You're doing more than what an Olympic athlete's doing
Mhm.
throughout the day. And
Yeah.
your stress level's high and you're still maintaining, you're still sacrificing, you're still serving. So everybody is an athlete and everyone should feel like an athlete. It's just all of our competitions are a little bit different,
Mm.
but we are all playing that competition of life. And what do I mean by that? Can you live the most fulfilled life that is meaningful to you?
Yeah. Wow. Exactly. We want people to know that the world is going to be a better place when you live that life that's more fulfilling to you, when you pursue your dreams, when you pursue the life that you were intended to live rather than living in the monotony or becoming complacent or having the attitude of, oh, this is the cards I've been dealt with and I can't change anything. No, you can. You're worthy of a great life. You're worthy of having the best life possible. And I think that when we look at Hope Not Nope and the book, when we look at Hope Not Nope as a whole, we just want people to know that you can live that life that you're meant to.
Yeah, and know that there's choices. And kind of going back to the first question that Joe submitted with CrossFit, and one thing that I think that is amazing is that these thoughts come up in your head of, can I actually do this? Am I good enough? Am I strong enough? Do I have enough energy to push through? And I don't think a lot of us know how much we're capable of
Mhm.
until we're pushed to that. And that's one of my greatest honors as a coach, is that I get to see people and they have no idea what their potential is.
Mm.
So I ask them, what's their goal? And their goal may be, well, I want to be out of back pain and foot pain. And I'm like, wow, that's a great goal. But internally, I'm like, huh, let's see what you can get to, because from the outside, people can see your potential, but it's really hard to see your own potential.
Mm-hmm.
But when you make that choice that I'm not going to accept this hand that I was dealt, I'm going to make changes. It's going to be challenging. But one of the most challenging aspects of it is battling the inner thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing a long workout this weekend, 15 minutes. They changed the distance from 400 to 500 meters. So there's adversity thrown into it. The barbell was on the infield, which was muddy. So I actually gave you the tip beforehand, don't drop the bar, because now you're going to be deadlifting it out of the earth instead of from on top of the earth on the surface. So, a lot of adversity was faced in that workout, and you're sore from the first day, you're running, and these thoughts come up of, oh, I can't do this run anymore. I'm too tired. But now you have that choice to make. Where's this thought coming from? And my thought is saying this, but yet my body is still moving. We tend to think, and we hear this all the time, your mind is in control, or you have a lizard brain that's controlling your every movement. And the reality is your mind's not in control. It works in a partnership with your body. So a quick tip I learned from Dr. Joe Tata is that you can say, don't move your arm, don't move your arm, don't move your arm. And you can lift your arm up and down as you're saying, don't lift this in your mind.
Yeah.
So we need to use these things as a partnership to then start unwrapping that potential that we truly have. And once you do that step by step, you start going, I can do one more rep. I can continue running. I can wake up tomorrow. I can get the coffee made. I can get those kids ready. I can get that email sent. I can respond back to that text. I can make that call back. All these things start adding up and adding up over time. And as you add them up, then you get to see your potential. And then you get to look back and go, wow, I never thought this was possible. And then as a coach, I get to sit there and go, I knew it was possible the whole time.
Yeah.
But it's amazing that you got to that. But it's that eagle and the bull going into the storm to then reach your full potential.
For sure. I remember the first time that Dylan and I met, he told me that I was an elite athlete, and I was shook because I had all these injuries. I was afraid to squat. I was afraid to jump. I couldn't do a plank without being in pain. I would not run at all. If there was a running movement, I would walk or I would go do something else, because I thought that these things were going to limit me forever. And he just looks at me and goes, you're an elite athlete. And so it's beautiful, because that you do get to see like this victory, right? But what you're talking about is the past 3 years, there's been little victories over time. It wasn't this like, I'm not an elite athlete in the sense of I'm not going to the CrossFit Games this August by any means, but I got to compete in this really great competition this past weekend. And prior to that, I learned how to lift a barbell. I was afraid to deadlift. And here I am growing, and it's been little victories along the way. But that's not just for me, and it's for the listeners. It's for people who read the book, and it's really for everyone. We want them to know that you can have these little victories and dream of massive victories, because those will come, but it takes, it's one step after the other.
You said something really important there that made my inside dance and happy and jump, and I'm trying not to dance on the video. But you said, I'm not going to the CrossFit Games this August.
Well, we might have a few
you
years.
Added in this August, where before, like you said, you were afraid to even do a deadlift. So the first time we worked out together, we modified the workout to make it really safe, to now saying, I'm not going to go to the CrossFit Games this August. That's amazing.
Who knows what's going to happen, right? We love the sport, but thank you.